morning, folks. So for a week or so, maybe a little longer, something has been trying to tunnel under Cindy's chicken house. And I figured it was a skunk, but then there's a big raccoon that got hit on the highway, probably a quarter mile from the house, a really big raccoon. And then no more digging. So we kind of thought, well, maybe that was him, but raccoons don't dig so much. They do a little bit, but skunks really dig a lot. Figured it was a skunk. Well, this morning, Cindy went out to check her chickens, and I heard this yelling, and then I smelled skunk. Cora, our dog, she ran over to smell the skunk in the cage. I had a live trap, and I heard Cindy yelling at her to get back, get away from there. Well, it was too late. So we have a stinky dog. On the back of my truck here, I have a live skunk and a live trap. Needed to get rid of him, so I hate to kill him. I mean, there's no reason for it, really. They're just trying to make a living, same as anything else. So, gives me an excuse to run up the mountain and get some firewood, although I wasn't really planning to do that today. So, anyhow, here we go. Well, that tree there, it's already down, mostly. Not that far from the road, so that should fill my trailer, maybe a little bit more. Pretty good sized tree. And Mr. Skunk, Mrs. Skunk, whatever he is in this cage. They're kind of misunderstood critters, really. They don't really want to spray you. They do if they have to, but most of the time they're pretty docile. We've had several of them for pets. I got one. If I can find the picture, I'll put it on here. He used to like to ride on my shoulder in the truck. Heck, we'd let him run around the house and stuff, and he wasn't descented. He never did spray in his entire life, and well, I'll take it back. I dropped him once. He squirted a little bit. It wasn't too bad, but we found out that the thing with skunks, everybody worries about the smell. It's not legal in most states to have them as pets, but what we found out is more important than descenting them is to get them spayed or neutered. And because it's not legal, we couldn't find a vet to do that. And after their first breeding season, they tend to get pretty mean. And Lucky was his name. We had Lucky Skunk. And he got really pretty vicious. He would bite, and they got teeth like a cat that's just really sharp and pointed, and he'd grab onto you and shake his head, and they can hurt you really fast. But he never did spray, not once. But getting bit wasn't fun either. And everybody says, well, they carry rabies. They can, but to get rabies, you have to be around something that has rabies. It doesn't just happen. So he was never around another skunk, and never around any other animals, really. We had a pen for him in the backyard. And anyway, they're misunderstood critters. I like skunks. They do have a little bit of an odor to them, though, but unless they spray, they really don't. They're clean as any other animal. They got kind of a different smell to them. It's not what you think of when you think of a skunk, but it's I don't know really how to describe it. Kind of a musky type of smell, but it's not offensive at all. You don't even really notice it much. But anyway, let this guy go, and I'll get me some firewood over there. He liked it in there. Here he goes. Where'd he go? He's gone. Well, I don't know if I got him on camera or not. Anyway, he's out of there. Gather up my cans and my trap and get me some firewood. Well, maybe I won't be getting any firewood. Go pull the plug out and see what happens there. Might not be getting any firewood today. Well, if that saw has any pride at all, it should be ashamed, because the battery-powered one has come to the rescue. Well, that didn't last long. One of those days, folks. Got squirted by a skunk. I didn't, but the dog did. Saw won't start. Battery went dead on the battery-operated saw. I got just a little dab of firewood. There's not a lot here. This trailer, when it's mounded over, is a quarter cord. So I got maybe not even an eighth of a cord. But I'm not going to let that wreck things. I've been wanting to try making some dandelion wine. We made some dandelion honey a couple of years ago. It was really good. It actually is dandelion jelly that tastes like honey. It's really good stuff. And by golly, I've got a bucket. It doesn't need to run. It just needs to... I might not be able to get up again after I kneel down on the ground here, but by golly, I'm gonna pick flowers. Anybody got a Bud Light? So what takes the longest with this? You gotta get this green off. You just want the yellow petals. It takes forever cutting those off. The recipe I saw, like I said, I've never tried the wine before. The recipe that I saw was called for, it's just for a gallon of the stuff, and it calls for a quart of petals. Get as much green off as you can. There's a little bit in here, but mostly it's not on there anymore. Well, I probably got enough. Didn't really take me that long, but like I said, I wasn't planning on doing any of this today, but here I am, sitting on the side of the road picking dandelions. You just never know how your day's going to turn out. My luck, I got like an eighth of a cord of firewood. I'm not really wanting to tag it, because my tags are for a quarter cord. But with my luck, some forest Nazi will get me for not having a tag on my firewood, even though there's not enough on it to really need a cord, or a quarter cord tag. That, I don't know. I suppose I ought to put one on just in case. The way this day's been going, I'd get a big old ticket for just a little bit of firewood. Really doesn't make sense. I mean, they burned up 130,000 acres last year. You would think a couple of cords of firewood wouldn't hurt nothing, but I don't know. That's not the way they see it, I guess. Anyway, that's got pretty fair amount, really. Oh, that's probably enough for a trial deal. These here are wild strawberries. Blossoms on these are bigger than most of the ones I've seen. About the size of a quarter. Most of them are a little smaller than that. But they usually don't ripen up until July or even August. They're normally tiny. I mean, a big one would be about the size of my thumbnail. Most of them more like my little fingernail. They're tiny, but half inch or less, 3/8. But boy, are they tasty. They got a lot more flavor than the big ones do. Been a doozy of a day. I got a little bit of firewood, a little bit of dandelion petals. Got rid of a skunk. Starting to rain on me. So, thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye. Oh, and for the record, that blue can, it's Keystone. It's not Bud Light. Nope. 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 This one's dry. The rest of them are just a tree that somebody cut out of the road. They're green and heavy, but I guess it's closer to a load than what I had. So I went ahead and notched my firewood tag. Stay out of trouble, but boy, I hate to waste one on a load like this. But them's the breaks.